I'm Rebekka. I'm CEO, co-founder of Trismik. We are building science-grade evaluation for large language models. In simple terms, we're making AI testing both precise and fast. But hey, you all must be a little bit tired. Shall we just quickly stand up, shake off a little bit, the energy? Let's get up. Yep, you guys as well, in the middle. Perfect. Just get your hands around. Yeah, that's really good. Good old stretch. I learned this from my grandfather. He loved to do this. Perfect. So, let me quickly start with a story. Here, meet Olivia. She's an applied scientist at an AI scale-up. Her company is building a news chatbot that lets readers search and summarize years' worth of content. They have dozens of models to choose from, but they don't necessarily need the biggest AI model. They need the one that performs best on their own data. So, over the next few months, Olivia will be running hundreds of experiments, trying to understand how the model retrieves information, making its summaries more accurate, and changing how the model responds to questions. So, this is what her weeks look like. Build, evaluate, wait, and repeat. First, it looks like a super simple task. You develop an AI system, you test it, and you ship it, right? Well, as soon as they start running evaluations, things quickly slow down. Because when you make a small change in the model, you need to rerun the test again and again. And it's not only Olivia doing it. Her engineer had to help her prep the data, and her product manager had to review the results. All that time added up, around 40 to 50K across people hours and compute. By the end of it, they'd run hundreds of evaluations and retests just to understand if the model was actually improving. So, why does evaluation take so long? There's a mix of approaches teams are today evaluating these models. We have classical benchmarks, which are more like reference points these days. Also, they are slow and costly. We have LLM as a judge, which is basically model judging the output of another model. It's widely used and scalable, but it can get really costly, and also the results still vary from run to run. And we have manual tracking, which is clearly flexible and transparent, but very difficult to scale. Each of these different methods have value and their place, but none of them give insight into statistical confidence very easily. What does a 1% bump in accuracy really mean? Is it progress or just random noise? So, if teams end up just shipping models to production without testing it, it obviously creates risk in production, like regression. Or maybe teams just skip experiments altogether and end up with weaker model choices. Either way, you end up paying with hallucination, bias, or maybe even compliance issues. It's no wonder that LLM evaluation is becoming one of the defining AI infra markets. It's already worth 1.3 billion today, and is projected to grow to 10 billion over the next decade. And it's not only Olivia who is doing evals. We've heard this again and again in our conversations. AI teams are spending up to 50% of their time doing evals. Without testing and trust, there's no proper adoption of AI. So, we ask a question, what if we could do testing faster without losing quality? And we borrowed a method from another domain, from education, called computer adaptive testing. It was originally designed for humans, like how Duolingo places you at the right level of difficulty really quickly. But we've adapted it for AI. So let's look at this in action. Oh. Oops, I kind of busted it. This was a video which is not currently it is working brilliant. So on the left-hand side, we have baseline. That's a classical test. On the right, we have Trismik's adaptive test. We're testing a dataset called MMLU Pro to learn how well AI handles domain knowledge on Llama 3.2 model. We need just a fraction of the usual data points and man-hours required by classical testing. You'll now see that Trismik finishes at just 26 seconds. And since we are too impatient to wait for the classical test to finish, let's just fast forward. And that's over 25 minutes for the classical test to finish. And as we've seen, in this particular example, that's a 98% time saving with Trismik. And our early experiments also show that we can reduce the evaluation cost up to 90% simply by removing the unnecessary runs. And now teams can iterate much faster, moving from days to hours between experiments. And we've also seen that the performance stays consistent across tests, meaning that the speed doesn't have to come at the cost of accuracy. So here's Olivia's life again. She can log into a platform, she can create a new project, and run and track all her latest experiments. Let's look at a demo project example. She can run an adaptive, classical, or stratified test. In the background, our platform optimizes sampling and uncertainty to ensure that the results are reliable. She can also track the experiments visually to spot any patterns or insights. And these really help her to interpret the experiments more easily and then present the results to her own management with confidence. She can pick an existing dataset from our library. For example, for her company's use case, she'll use a dataset called NewsSum. It's a summarization dataset. But most importantly, soon she can upload her own data that we will turn adaptive. This is part of our Q1 release early next year. So we've just released our beta. We've been validating it with academics. One of the partners is Secure FinAI Lab at Columbia University in New York. They are using Trismik to evaluate the agentic FinSearch assistant on platforms like Yahoo Finance. And they describe Trismik as really valuable, low cost, and super fast. They're also developing FinLLM leaderboard and financial datasets that we're currently converting adaptive and adding them to our library. Mentioned beta is live. We're currently speaking with a lot of companies, AI startups, scale-ups, and enterprises, really refining the platform ahead of release early next year. We've also recently closed a $3 million pre-seed round led by top European funds. And it was exciting that we were mentioned as one of 16 UK AI startups to watch, according to VCs on Shifted. In our team, we have world-class knowledge professor Nigel Collier is an AI professor from Cambridge with 30+ years of experience in the field. His ex-postdoc Marco is our CTO. Before joining us, he worked on foundation models at Amazon. And myself, I bring commercial expertise from Salesforce. Also, I'm a repeat founder. In our team, we are currently 8, mainly scientists and engineers. Just to wrap it up, at Trismik, we bring scientific rigor to the way we test and trust AI. Please do scan the QR code if you'd like to join our beta or to simply connect with us afterwards. Thank you so much for your time.